record, back up.
I tried to get like a hair off of the pad and I pressed the button so it stopped recording for like a second in that first one. So
whatever.
But the burn is there, but yeah, the recording will have a little tiny gap of audio that we'll have to fill with that mic, but
that's okay.
Growing.
You have a giant hair on your shirt, by the way. There you go.
That is it.
It's Brittany's.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right, you got some on your shirt. Give me one of these.
It's before she got all her hair.
Yeah, right. All right, gang. Here we go. Let's get into the second one. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to the Rat's Nest. I'm Jesse.
I'm Sean.
And this is
Shad.
We are all here. We're all kicking it. If you're not familiar with Shad, Shad's been around for a minute. He's just now shown up on the podcast. Sean and I, where the hell's he been? Sean and I have been just kind of putting these things up, kind of rolling with it. We finally were able to get Shad on, who is a big player in the Nerd Rat game. Just quick brief, Shad, tell them a little bit about what you've been doing with us.
So when we do shorts, I'm mainly the head script writer, and when we do music videos, I step on and serve as the AD.
There you go. See, super easy. And that whole time that he does that, I go and take a nap because that's what I do. Right, guys? Right? I'm not insane, right? Okay. Anyways, today we are going to talk about something that I think we could all basically get lost on at any moment. Let's just talk about some movies that are coming up, we're excited about, maybe some movies that are in theaters right now or going out of theaters. And I'm going to go ahead and start this off because you guys know who Tim Robinson is, right?
Yes.
You know, have you seen this trailer for Friendship?
You told me about it, but I haven't actually seen the trailer.
What about you, Sean? You seen the trailer?
I'm purposely avoiding it because I know I'm going to love it.
I know, it's going to be a good one. I don't know. I was trying to get us rolling in that direction. You guys haven't seen this thing, Friendship. I mean, Tim Robinson, Paul Rudd. I mean, what else can you say?
Yeah,
I mean, what is it? Java. And it's Tim Robinson cranking it up 15 notches. I can't wait for it. I mean, I just tried to throw it down, guys, and they have no idea what I'm talking about. So I'm going to toss it to Sean. Sean, tell me about a movie that's coming out right now. That you're excited about?
I'm excited about Mickey 17.
Mickey 17!
I saw it. And
you saw it? Oh, we're on City.
I won't.
Sean and I are thinking about going to see it together.
We have to, yeah.
Yeah, we have to. Now that Shad's like, I got some thoughts.
We can hold hands and skip them.
Yeah, we do. We will. I'll be there. I'll be old Robbie.
But that's one, like, in terms of movies coming out that I'm very excited about. But movies that I've seen recently that I truly loved was Flow. And I know we talked about that a lot.
I haven't seen Flow.
Have you not seen it either?
I haven't seen it yet. I actually looked up where it's at, and I found out that they have it on YouTube, and I'm about to subscribe.
Yeah.
Just to like do it.
If anything, come over. We can watch it.
Just watch it.
Yeah.
It just sounds beautiful.
Then we can maybe do it.
Oh, give a little history on that again. What's up with that movie?
Well, I mean, yeah, if you follow the Oscars, anything, they won Best Animated Picture over like everything else went out against Disney, Pixar, all that kind of stuff. But it was a guy with a small team, but over the course of like 8 years developed this animated feature film in Blender, free open source software. And I guess a lot of it in a talk that he did at like the Blender conference, he did a lot of it on a laptop.
Yeah.
Like by himself. It's like, no, I'm won the Oscar. So it's like, but it's just like super painterly. It's super beautiful. Not a lick of dialogue the entire time, but it tells such a beautiful story about like a cat and a capybara and a stork and a lemur all surviving on a boat during a flood. And it's like,
wow,
it's gorgeous. And I had so much fun watching it. But yeah, it's funny that we've picked movies that
no one's seen. All right, so we got to play this game now. We got to figure out which movie we've all seen. Have we all seen Nosferatu?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
One that I do really want to see.
Right?
Still, like for rent on all streamers right now.
Oh, it is exactly right.
It's on Peacock right now.
It's on Peacock. See, but I don't have Netflix, but I do have access to Peacock. So maybe we got to.
I have like Netflix, HBO, Disney, and Hulu, but not Peacock.
Right.
And like there's so many good things coming out on Peacock now.
Bro, you guys just got to collect physical media for the rest of your life, like me, like 5,000 in.
We need more members so we can afford subscriptions.
We get members. We will do movie reviews weekly on stuff because we have the mothers do that. But we did do a movie review for Steven Soderbergh a year ago, basically for what is it, Schizopolis.
Yeah.
He has 2 movies coming out this year. I haven't seen any of them, but one is the Ghost Story one, where it's like all the movies shot from the ghost perspective.
Presence. Is that what it's
I
called?
think it's called Presence, but he's also got Black Bag, the one with
Yeah, I saw that trailer.
yeah, with oh man, what's his name? Fassbender. It's Fassbender and what's her name? Kate Blanchett, right?
I don't remember now.
Come on, guys. Have we ever watched movies? Okay. All right, so that was my test. Okay, what movies has everybody actually seen? I mean, do we got to go back? I mean, this is an example that I got to point out to y'all out there. We are not the Oscar seekers. We don't watch every brand new movie of that year. Honestly, just to have a discussion about it, how I determine if I want to watch a movie that's new, I will just straight up like look up like how well it's doing years later. Like it might even be come back to around like, hey man, that movie that came out 3 years later is still taking its rounds as being really good. So then I might go watch it. I have no desire to be the first of the front lines to be like, this is good or this is bad. I'm not the critic of the world. I mean, what do you guys feel about that? Like, what do you seek about?
I probably go to the movies, I'd say probably once a month.
Once a month?
Yeah. I mean, at the theater. Sometimes though, I will actually take a trip to Alamo Drafthouse.
Yeah,
in Westminster. Yeah, because that's the best movie theater experience I've ever had.
Well,
it's hands down.
I'm about to throw this at you. Then you're talking about the Westminster one, but what about that does great for like all the aesthetics where they do like the trailers in front of it and everything like that. What about the IMAX down in Broomfield or wherever it's at? The one that you tell me is like the best in the state.
So I don't know if it is anymore. So there's an IMAX in Denver. That's the Colorado Center. That's on I-25 and Colfax.
That's right.
No, not Colfax, Colorado Boulevard.
Oh yeah.
And it used to be a legitimate IMAX with a 70 millimeter, an actual 70 millimeter projector. And then recently, over the past couple of years, they got rid of the projector and now it's all digital. And it's too loud, and it's just loud. That's all it is. It's just
loud. The Metrolux here in Loveland, I'm having the same experience with where you go and you're like, I like it, but like after a while, I'm like, bro, this is just loud.
Like Dune and like Romulus on that, I was like,
I mean,
more.
I mean, I did watch Dune and Romulus, Dune 2 specifically on there, and Romulus, and I watched it back to back. I thought that movie was fucking amazing.
Yeah,
but like, I think sometimes I feel like they're mixed the wrong way. I don't know who the fuck's mixed.
It's just IMAX's whole thing is like loud bass, big picture, which was great 15 years ago. But now, here's the thing. So the Alamo Drafthouse, they have a screen called The Big Show, where they have 2 4K projectors that are stacked so you can get a brighter picture. And they have full-on Dolby Atmos surround sound and seat shakers under the seat. And it's not nearly as loud as an IMAX, but it's better sound. It's like crystal freaking clear. So that was actually where I saw Mickey 17. And most of the time in theatrical mixes, they try to keep the dialogue center.
Yeah.
But in this movie, they were moving it all around the auditorium when people were moving around the screen. So there was a moment where somebody walked off camera and went into the surrounds, and like you could hear them, because Dolby Atmos isn't just like 5.1 channel based. No. You can mix discreetly for sections of a theater. So like you could have like 6 different localized sections along the wall. But you could hear the voice get to right and go right down the side of the theater. And I was like, oh, that was a really interesting sound movement. And there were stuff like you know, when they're out on the battlefield at one point, there's things like flying overhead.
Spoiler.
And but it's literally things are like flying over your head, and you can hear pinpoint sounds like travel across the theater over the top of it.
Damn, dude.
That's where you get extra screens, so when you
You see it's all like flying over it.
there's like 8 cameras on set that are funny for
Dude, yeah, well, there's got like what's behind the cinematographer at all times. It's like a guy eating a sandwich, like at a truck. Yay.
But
Good shot.
for those of you who maybe are not familiar with the actual film exhibiting technology, look for a screen that has Dolby Atmos, because I promise you it will be the best sound you will get in a movie theater.
There you go. This is coming from this guy. Now you got to follow his advice, because if there's anybody that collects like the newest stuff, knows about like DVD players, and knows about how things should be mixed, it's this guy. I'm on the opposite end where I just collect garbage and I love just piles of videos and movies. And shout out like I got the 4K version of this movie, and then dude, we got to go into it because you keep bringing it up. Let's talk about these new releases from like Cameron and Fincher and what they're friggin' screwing up.
Okay, so
Let's go.
I'm just gonna hit on James Cameron.
Yeah, let's go.
So
Heads up, James. Chat's coming for it.
So last year, James Cameron brought a whole collection of his movies out to 4K. Most of those movies are owned by 20th Century Fox, which is now owned by Disney. And with his deal with 20th Century Fox, he has the final say in the video presentation of his movie.
This is a key point in this, and I'm going to say that we're gonna start thinking about George Lucas in like 2001.
Yeah. So he went back and like he released True Lies and Aliens and what was the underwater one?
Abyss.
The Abyss. Which,
The underwater one.
sorry, I couldn't think of the name.
The most game.
The CGI alone, dude. 89. Right. Come on, Shad.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Whatever. So James messed it up.
So
I mean, did great. No secrets here.
He took the negative scans and they scanned everything from the actual negative film prints. And then he went back in and digitally started recolor grading all of the movies. And he started stripping grain because he wanted it to look like it was shot digitally, like Avatar. And I don't know if you know what happens when you start scrubbing away film grain, but you start taking away detail. So now everything looks waxy and fake. And
like
then,
whack. See?
And then he started using AI to fix shots that he wanted to correct. But the AI doesn't quite know how to do things in the background. So there's weird things like people in the background are like morphed and warped and it just looks weird. And then there's some things where he was like artificially trying to enhance detail on close-ups. And there's like shots in True Lies where it literally looks like somebody copy and pasted Arnold Schwarzenegger's face over his own body. I don't know how else to explain it. It looks real bad.
Old version of him?
Like
It's like De Niro.
it looks real bad. And so like all the people who are collecting, a lot of his movies skipped Blu-ray altogether. The Abyss never came out on Blu-ray.
True Lies is the notorious one that
never came out on Blu-ray.
I got the VHS, bro.
And so people were excited until they started sending out review copies to people who are like do that for a living. And people started being like, man, these look terrible. These look awful. But the biggest offender, and I saved this for last, is Terminator 2.
Dude.
He literally
Boogaloo.
Yeah, Boogaloo.
He literally went in and he recolor graded the entire movie to give it that blue, orange, teal that it never had before, ever. And
I mean, there was a blue to it, but
right, but
there
not
wasn't like this teal.
Yeah, like it's obnoxious.
It was like 8K or something, and now it's like, okay, all right.
So David Fincher,
We got to get a hold of this. Like, there's got to be a way for us to get a hold of this footage so we can show on the cast. But you know, Fincher might be up our butts with it.
Well, I mean, we could do like a members only stream, or because we were allowed to like watch movies and stuff like that.
It'd be worth it.
Like, go.
You know, Sean's onto something here. You know, stay tuned, you guys. Anyways,
so David Fincher took a page out of James Cameron's playbook.
Terrible playbook.
And for Pettigrew,
James was the King James version of the Bible. King James Cameron film.
for Panic Room, he went back because that's another one that never got a Blu-ray release. That went right from DVD to 4K. So people were excited because now his movies are starting to come out on 4K. But he went back with Panic Room and he recolor graded everything. And he brought up all the shadows and all the things that made that movie moody so that you could see more detail. And then he did exactly what Cameron did. And he started scrubbing away the grain, which scrubs away the detail, which makes things look fake. I have so much love for those movies, and it pains me when I watch stuff like that because they're like ruining their own work.
Yeah. Do you think it's just like a money grab? Like, hey, people love these movies, so if we just release a new version, they're going to buy it. But you can get a bag.
But wouldn't that mean that you wouldn't even need to touch it? Like, you would need to touch it. You just be like, let's just resell them on 4K.
Yeah, it's a new version no matter what. So, like,
is that what they're selling them like? What is yours thing? Does it say like the Cameron fuck up version?
No, I mean my True Lies is just a regular like 4K.
But it's still like they don't tell you that you're about to tune in and watch something that.
Well, yeah, they'll say like sourced from the original negative or whatever.
Like, tiny, like James pissed on this. Okay.
But and I don't mean to shit on filmmakers that I love. Sorry,
he wants them.
But the filmmakers that I respect the most seem like they're always the filmmakers that want to go back and ruin what made something special.
Why do you think that is, Shad?
I honestly don't know.
The money. I kind of guarantee it's
like, can I do a new version?
Oh, we don't have to make a new movie, but we can just kind of like slightly upgrade this one. Upgrade,
yeah.
It's probably the people who love like motion flow, like applied on their TVs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Weird, like,
oh, yeah, dude.
I guarantee it.
That like, oh, it's better because you can see all the mistakes the
film. But that's not filmmaking. But like,
yeah, but it's probably those people who like that kind of like over hyper, like too high frame rate, too high clarity, too high look that is now just becoming kind of normal because every TV just has that as like the default when you buy it.
Did you guys see Avatar 2? Did you see it?
Yeah.
So like, I think and my brain is registering it, but they're like 120 frame to like 60 frame, 40 frame. I'm like, dude, how do you even make a film? It adjusts.
But it's at least crisp. It doesn't have like the motion flow. It has like a weird like artifacting around.
It does
the motion, but yeah, like I think it's just a cheap way to sell another new collection of the same DVD.
And I agree with that.
I don't like
but so when
like Criterion can do it, they go through and rescan stuff and clean it up, but they hold the original value, but now it's at least
and what were we talking about this earlier?
A cleaner, sharper look.
Where it's like they're taking the negatives and projecting them and like filming as opposed to like
scratches, and they're cleaning dust off and stuff like that to make it a cleaner, higher sharpness.
Just a cleaner version of the film, not like, hey, we should take this person and skin it.
Like come to a wax talking about getting rid of like acne and stuff like that and just making them wax figurines.
Yeah, right. We called Terminator. I was like, I didn't like my jawline. Like, don't worry, we'll just erase it. Don't worry about it.
But on the flip side to that, though, the movies that I have on 4K from Steven Spielberg, like Jaws, looks like you're watching a film print, and it's beautiful. Like the foam grain is all there. There's a ton of detail. The color pops. Like it looks absolutely beautiful. So does E.T. I'm not a huge fan of that movie, but the restoration that he did on E.T. looks absolutely fantastic. Raiders of the Lost Ark looks beautiful. So like filmmakers can go, they'll do that, and I'm sure there's a motivating factor there for money as well. But the difference is that when they're doing Spielberg's movies, they're taking the time to make it look like it would have looked when it was being projected on film at the time period it came out. When Cameron is doing it or when Fincher is doing it, they are making it to look like we shot it yesterday on a digital camera. And that's the distinction.
Man, I wonder if dude, I'm popping a conspiracy theory up right now. So the only reason Spielberg's films would be that would look that good is if these other cats went out there and just messed it up. So there's like this like weird like, now Spielberg's like, I'm just not going to touch my films. And that's going to make them be legendary. There's like a weird thing going on there. Like, why would you mess them up? Like, the reason we loved those films is because we saw them so many times the way they were. Yet, you want to go in and change it. Like, I don't give a crap about the change.
And it could also be, like, after watching, I don't know if you've seen it, the documentary Light and Magic on Disney Plus. It's like the entire start of Industrial Light and Magic. Like
Go.
George Lucas, Spielberg,
the beginning.
Cameron, all that kind of
Dude,
stuff.
Fincher was in there.
Where and like where they were coming up with ideas and testing them on shoots. So like The Abyss, they had never done water simulation, but they started shooting the movie first and came up with a solution afterwards. Same with Star Wars. They were shooting the practical sets. They didn't have any of the props made. The whole team spent $1 million+ on just props, half the budget at the time. They had $2 million to make the first Star Wars. They spent half of it on models. George shot all of the practical set stuff, came back to the US, but they shot in England, and they had 2 shots done for $1 million. So it could be something where there's new tech coming out and they're testing it kind of live, and maybe it's not quite there yet and it just looks weird to us, but maybe it's something along the lines of like using AI to try to clean up film. And now it's just a new thing that it just doesn't quite, I don't know, looks wrong to our eyes or something, but they're just trying to push a new technology and like get it out there and like get funding behind it. Maybe part of that is like from the selling new versions of the DVD.
I think your biggest, the point that you're making there is that during the time period we come across in our own process, you're making the movie, you have a vision. The vision is never 100%. At the end of the day, if you have 100% vision, film out there, send it to us, because I guarantee it's not the case. You start making a film, this is what I want it to look like, this is what we're going to get out of it. And because of budgetary restraints and, oh my God, the prop didn't work out like we wanted, blah, blah, blah. So you're right, dude. Those films, and I see why George Lucas did it with the films in 01 that everybody's mad about, because he's like, I want it to look this way, but we're all used to it as our child. It's like you're taking away your childhood. But I see why they do it. The only hiccup here is that they're not like going in and like, oh, we needed like a better spaceship during the chase scene in Terminator 1. It's like, actually, I just didn't really like the complexion that the camera was creating, like that you could have like fixed on
the film stock.
I was like, wait a second, bro. I was like, but that's something
you could have wrong lens.
Yeah, we used the wrong lens. Or like as we go back, you remember whenever they did The Hobbit and they messed it up and had to reshoot the entire thing because it wasn't registered in 3D projectors the right way. Like, dude, that happened. And I'm just like thinking to myself, like, oh my God, like that's the kind of like hiccups that you worry about. But like when it's just like, oh, George wanted that character to fly better. It's like, bro, we get it. But like once the art is out of the canon, it's kind of ours now.
Just let it be.
Let it fly, bro. Let it just hit the ground where it hits the ground. Like,
let it go.
Let it go. Yeah, so, I mean, movie nerd stuff aside here, we got a couple minutes left. I know that we cannot agree on a movie that we all three have seen that we really like, but I'm going to start with you, Shad. Tell me a movie of the last year, and it doesn't have to be came out in 2024, just a film that you liked, like in the last that you hadn't seen yet, that was new to you in the last year.
Okay. I have 2. Can I do 2?
Yeah, let's do 2. Let's hear it.
So,
Shad's always got to do 2.
The Substance is fan-freaking-tastic, dude. That movie is so good. I was rooting for Demi Moore for the Oscar.
Right? That was a tough one.
But that movie is great. Have either of you seen it?
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah. It's definitely on my list. It's still
awesome.
It's fun.
It's fun to play right now on streamers, but as soon as it goes somewhere.
I'm about to just buy it, dude. I liked it enough to buy a copy of it. That's how good it was.
It's awesome. The other movie that I saw that I really loved that got absolutely no love at the Oscars was Challengers.
Challengers.
That movie is awesome.
I haven't seen that either. I've heard it's pretty good.
Oh man,
it's on my. I've seen a lot of like behind the scenes and like trailer stuff on it.
Yeah.
It's on my list. It's available to me in one of the streaming. Yeah, I'll probably watch it this week because it's something.
The way that, and I don't remember the director's name now, but the way that like he shot the movie, it just has an energy to it the entire time. Like the way the camera moves and the way that it's caught and edited, and like the tennis stuff is like really well done. But then you have like a really good story with these 3 characters that you kind of hate them all, but you kind of like them all as well, where they're like bad people, but you want to see one of them at least succeed in what they're trying to accomplish. And it was just it was really original and it was really well done and it was just a good time at the movies. And they don't make movies like that anymore. I know that's cliche to say, but they don't.
From what I've seen, it kind of seems like, what was that movie with Shia, the bow? That was a tennis player.
Holes? No, I'm just kidding.
It was like him and I forget who was the second on it, but it was like a really good like period piece tennis film of like a very well known kind of like
man, I know what you're talking about.
But like watching some of the shots from Challengers, it kind of seems like it had that like same energy where it's just like, I don't know, just full of life. And I don't know, I'm excited to watch that one. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah, I loved it. It was awesome.
Well, while we're on you, Sean, what are some movies you're excited about, or that you saw last year that you never seen that you really liked?
I mean, I've talked about it a lot, but Vesper was just super inspiring to me. Like the storyline's super simple, so take that with a grain of salt. But just the overall style and the fact that it was very indie, kind of inspired this whole like wanting to do a sci-fi short film, because I saw how they did it and how low key, like you watch the behind the scenes and they have like a hanging tapestry of like, you know, like the forest tapestry thing that like every like college student had.
Yeah,
they shot in front of that and it looked like on like something that only shoots 480p, like super low level, low budget, but just had such a beautiful look to it. Lots of practical effects and stuff in it. So that one really inspired me. And I've just been a fan of like just basically anything A24 has put out this last year, just in that general same like indie vibes. But things like High Life I watched this last year that had a lot of practical stuff for a sci-fi.
Yeah,
really enjoyed that movie. But yeah, the last like month or so, I don't think I've seen anything where I'm like, man, that was super cool, except for like Flow. Like Flow was pretty cool, and I think I'm kind of biased just because I do have a love for Blender and the fact that it was all done in a free program and not in like, you know, programs that cost you thousands of dollars a year to
exactly
for the subscription.
That's key.
So that was super inspiring to me this year.
Cool.
And yeah, just, you know, rewatching the classics like Blade Runner over and over.
Classics, dude. All right. I got a couple here, and it's only because it's the first time that I've seen them, but I guess I'll stick with one, just to stick with one. I saw this movie. So for February, Tina and I were just like watching love movies, and I had a bunch on my shelves that I just hadn't touched because it's not necessarily my first go-to. You just pick them up and you're like, oh, that's a rom-com I'll get to eventually. I saw this Patrick Dempsey movie called Can't Buy Me Love. Have you seen?
Oh my God. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So I went into this movie thinking it was just going to be a regular, like, you know, just throwaway 80s movie. And dude, I mean, I see Dempsey now completely different. Like that movie has some really good zingers and fun things. And it has a different message than a lot of these movies from the 80s. I don't know what it was, man. It was like they were doing like these like home ec thing where like there's like 6 people in a classroom doing a thing and they were all talking to each other, so everybody was like intertwined in that. They did these like, he was super cool and he was like doing this like dance move up on like this wall. Everybody's like, yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. And I don't know what it was, dude. Like that's the kind of stuff that I love about movies where like they're just telling like to get footage of something and like just say stuff and they just like use the line. I'm like, yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, just because they just like, we got the footage, let's use it. We need some filler. They just like dancing on a wall. But like it had a really good message to it for a lot of the garbage that I watched. Like there's so much like The Holiday. God, what a boring movie. I mean, whatever. Like we watched classic. Or like but like Can't Buy Me Love, 1987. It nails it. It does a better job, in my opinion, to echo High School a little bit better. Still unrealistic, but like in a better realm, like where the kid that stands up to the bully is actually being heard because people don't actually want to be assholes, you know? Good movie. If you haven't seen it out there, Can't Buy Me Love, Patrick Dempsey nailing it. Like, was it these Dr. McLovin now?
Bridget Fonda's in that, right?
No.
No?
No. You think about it as the lead girl?
Yeah.
No, it's this other girl that like didn't really do much after those movies or anything.
I might be thinking of a different.
But yeah, that was the first time for me, y'all, and I think that's funny to talk about. But yeah, is it?
I've recently, I don't know if you noticed, but I started doing Letterboxd again.
Yeah, I saw it
last night.
Yeah,
because I'm just like I keep losing track and like this might be
That's
bad
kinda
for
what-
the podcast
that's what
because
I'm doing.
I forget what I watched.
Yeah.
But I watched the new-ish Hellboy last night.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Actually, no, I saw that for the first time in the last 6 months. Have you seen that one?
No.
Well, honestly,
man.
did you like it?
I mean, it's a
It's a Hellboy.
Hellboy movies always seem like the prosthetics don't quite work, and like
Right.
it's kind of campy.
Like,
I think
all of them
that's
do.
kind of the point. I
Right.
don't know.
I mean,
I never watched or listened to the comics or read the comics or anything like that, so I don't have like a passion for it like some
Right,
people
right.
do.
I think with the new Hellboy movie, like I wasn't excited about seeing it either. I'm like, whatever, dude. And then I just had it come
It
through.
just popped up on Hulu.
Yeah, and I was like, oh. But what I feel about it is like I didn't read the comics either, but I feel like just watching that movie, you're like, oh, they're kind of like hinting at a bunch of stuff that is gonna if they had made like 2 more movies, which they are not or ever will. Like are kind of a setup to be like, oh, there's so many things in this universe. So it was like a really big like world building film. Like the house that's walking around that he's falling out of and stuff that's like got chicken legs. I really enjoyed that stuff. And I was like, oh man, I kind of wish the first Hellboy kind of addressed a lot of these things, even though I like the octopus gods in the sky or whatever. But what it was, I think it's the David Harbinger aspect of it. This dude's in Stranger Things. He's just kind of doing his thing. All of a sudden he's Hellboy. And the trailers that I saw, it was like, he was like, oh, and you're just like, oh my God, is this just like a barbarian dumbass? Like what's going on here? But like in the movie, they do a better job of like kind of addressing a lot of things. Still not the greatest movie. Still not better than the Del Toro version because he just like did so much with it, you know?
I think you guys are thinking of 2 different movies because David Harbour was only in the one movie from like 2000, what was it, 19?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And there's a brand new one that just came out on Hulu.
Wait, there's another one?
Sean's talking, Sean's talking about the brand new
Did you see
one.
the Harbinger one?
I think I did with Marty like in theater, and that was it.
So what's this new one? Is it like actually like a noir, like the original comics?
It's just like
It's just another Hellboy.
fairly basic movie, Hellboy movie.
Fucking-
But I was just like, fuck, there was one that came out last year. Like,
Yeah, so I'm not aware of
yeah,
that.
so that's why I popped it up.
I
had no
I
idea.
think that was the case where they made it and they intended for it to be theatrical, and then they were like, yeah, we can't release this in theaters.
This ain't gonna make any money. All right, whatever.
straight to Hulu.
Straight to Hulu. Man, a term we wouldn't have been saying 20 years ago. Straight to Hulu. Straight to
Real
video.
quick, before we wrap this,
Yeah.
I just want to say a movie that I'm looking forward to a lot. So you're talking about A24 and Paul Rudd's Death of a Unicorn.
Oh yeah,
That movie
I've
looks
seen the trailer for
Awesome.
that. Yeah.
It's like there's moments in there where I feel like it's like a monster movie but with unicorns where they're like trapped, like they're like trapped somewhere, and like you see the unicorn like walk past the window and it growls like a T-Rex.
Yeah, right,
like
right.
from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, that's so
It
cool.
just looks so sweet.
I'm just seeing a little bit of that. I don't know if you've ever seen the animated series Crepopolis. It's like Dan Harmon's new
Oh yeah,
thing.
yeah. I haven't seen it yet.
There's
but
a
I
whole
know.
episode about unicorns and how they're like predatorial beings, and the horns are actually stingers. So they sting you and paralyze you, the big back to the cave and like rip you apart. So like, yeah, I thought that was kind of a fun take. But I've also seen some like initial Instagram posts of like how people hated Death of a Unicorn.
But
Really?
but here's the question: is there other
So-
people that are saying they loved it? Because usually when it's hated and
Yeah.
loved, I ride that line. I'm like, I bet you I'm gonna enjoy
It's just
it.
random stuff that we follow on the Nerd Rat Instagram.
Yeah.
I just saw it popping up, like it just completely failed at what I was trying to do. But I'm like, I'm also like,
Yeah, I'll give it a
I feel
try.
like a lot of people just kind of hate on the A24 films just because they are the weird ones.
Yeah.
Trying new things. And that's why I love
Or they hold them at such a high standard that once they're disappointed by someone, they're like, oh,
when it's like, I saw a graph recently of like every A24 film and like the recent like big movies like Red One and things like that, like $50 million was paid to The Rock. And all 4 of these movies were made for that entire budget, and these are all like super good movies. And then like 25 million was paid to so and so for this other movie for Disney, and then like these 6 films were made by A24 for the same amount. Okay, yeah, maybe they don't land, but they're trying some cool storylines and doing some cool shit.
I feel like a little bit of that, like Blumhouse was kind of that way. They kind of fell off, but Blumhouse was always the like horror movie studio that was like, here's $3 million, go make a movie, and they would let the creators basically do whatever they wanted. And I know recently they haven't really been in the conversation. They kind of fell off. But there was a while there where Blumhouse was just cranking out incredible movies that were like macro budgets compared to like the big franchise horror movies that were coming out.
You know, and also since we're in this vein and we're still rolling this, guys, I got huge opinions about this movie, but there's a second movie that came out by the director, Perkins, Long Legs, that came out like early, like July of last year, and then that director just put out Monkey, I believe is what it's called. Have either of you seen either of these movies?
No, but I heard it's not.
You probably heard that from me, bro.
Oh, maybe I did.
Here's the deal out there, guys. Whatever you feel about these movies, honestly, in my opinion, Long Legs was just a fancy, like, Twilight Zone episode or Outer Limits, more like a Twilight Zone meets an Outer Limits. So, like, the premise of it and then how it wraps up, I'm just like, yeah, I've seen this before. And not only have I seen it, but like it wasn't done well when they did it the first 7 times. I'm like, this is so boring. And now he's got this Monkey one, which is a Stephen King like made film. But he probably bought the script for $1, that whole thing, and he made it. And everyone I've talked to, I've asked them a series of questions, and I know for a freaking fact this Monkey movie is just a very high tech, higher end, not high tech because that would be the Black Mirror, more like just a higher production value freaking Twilight Zone. And to me, like, I watched all of those a million times with my father growing up, that anytime somebody just like, oh, the end of this movie is not a twist, it's just this thing that's been happening that we kind of twist, I'm just like, yeah, that's freaking boring. It doesn't do anything for me. And yet they won't put out cool sci-fis. They're like, no, we don't want to invest in Neuromancer, but we will put out 15 Stephen King remakes. I'm like, what the frick is going on?
And let me just preface this real quick by saying, if you love these movies, amazing for you.
Just kidding. Yeah, amazing.
Everyone's allowed to have their own like opinion.
But I have the microphone right now, so mine matters.
And if you do like them, like and subscribe.
And if you like them, hate me, like the channel.
You should hate subscribe to Jesse.
Hate subscribe, just hate subscribe.
Hate fuck that like.
Yeah, do it, I dare you. I don't even want it. But here's the deal, though. We would love to hear some debates. If you are out there and you think that our opinions are trash, like, throw them at us, because we want to have this conversation. We love movies so much that the conversation can go a million ways, and the fact that we're having the conversation is a joyous thing. So, guys, we're signing off for this episode. Thank you, Shad, for joining us for the last couple here. Sean, you got anything to add to this? All right, cut this thing right here.